on, they added Pinterest as well, and just like Twitter, just like Facebook, it had a lot of the yummy recipes, which I would think more often than not, this would probably be the most appropriate place to put those recipes at. So I guess overall, the social media platforms did do well. And then, as you said earlier, you have to realize it was in 2009. So social media wasn't exactly newfangled, but at the same time, it's not utilized as heavily as we use it today.
And especially Twitter.
And especially Twitter. So if we just step back and recap for a second, a crisis outbreak just occurred. Your first focus is addressing the issue and concern. And then a couple of months later, you're beginning to start a campaign to put your trust back into peanut consumerism. So you've used traditional and social media, and so I guess the next step is to get out there and physically reach your audience. And that's exactly what the National Peanut Board did. The board kicked off this campaign by meeting face-to-face with consumers in 2 major events to rebuild the confidence of the peanut industry and signal the return of a positive press for peanuts. The first was a New York Outreach Peanut Expo. The National Peanut Board set the house events over a 2-day period in early March in New York's Grand Central Terminal. So between March and 5th of 2009, they constructed what was called Energy Central. Energy Central was an interactive and educational exhibit that granted visitors a unique opportunity to meet and talk to peanut farmers about the recent product recalls. They were also able to sample new and favorite peanut products, as well as learn about the health benefits of peanuts. They were also able to meet celebrity chefs and athletes and see an actual, I think this was the most interesting part, they were able to see a miniature field of peanuts being grown, and the farmers actually showed them the how-to. So if you've never seen an actual peanut plant, it's a little awkward because I never thought that peanuts grew like on plants. Fun fact. But they do. But they do. The growers use the plants, like I said, to educate commuters about how a peanut plant grows and forms its pods. But it was the reassuring of consumers that peanut products, especially peanut butter, are safe to eat. And that was really the most important message that they were trying to pass. So while at Grand Central Terminal, the industry took the opportunity to also announce their commitment to hunger relief by making an initial donation to the Food Bank of New York for $5,000, and they also offered 6 pallets of product. So you kind of had that, you know, we're promoting, but, you know, we're also giving as well. Another event of the outreach effort was actually held at the Astor Center in New York as well, targeting the culinary press. The event featured 5 renowned chefs who created traditional dishes from the unique world cuisine they represented, kind of with a peanut-inspired twist. The chefs also conducted demonstrations, and they answered questions posed to them for the press. So I was kind of hungry while I was researching, so I decided to show you another little appetizing thing that they created. And it wasn't just kind of your, like I said, it wasn't your traditional peanut-inspired dishes. They had peanut-flavored cotton candy, peanut-flavored drinks, pasta dishes, and of course, like your peanut-flavored desserts and peanut-infused desserts. More than 80 culinary press representing newspapers and magazines and television and online media attended this event, and they were able to taste the wonderful creations that all the chefs and peanut producers made. And within just a few days, news stories were already beginning to pop up in various outlets as a result of these events. And it wasn't just negative press that the Peanut Board was receiving, it was now positive press, which really turned it for the better. Robert Blunt, the executive director of the Western Peanut Growers Association, kind of had a perfect quote to go along with all of the progress that the Peanut Board had. He said, quote, "It was the best, most united promotional event that I have ever seen for the industry of peanuts. The group faced a negative issue head-on and produced extremely positive results." It's estimated that nearly 50,000 people over that 2-day period passed the terminal and passed the Astor Center. And one thing that I really like about the National Peanut Board is they could have stopped there, but they went even further. Following the successful New York City events that once again made consumers believe in peanut product capability, they created a growers tour with additional stops in Atlanta, Washington D.C., Minneapolis, Chicago, Nashville, Houston, and Santa Monica. And one thing I really liked as well is that they catered to the events that they went to, not necessarily their cause. So throughout all of these cities, there were actual events happening, and if you click to the next one, such as an Atlanta Braves game. And instead of just sitting outside of the Atlanta Braves game saying, okay, here we are, we're celebrating peanuts and building up your confidence, they actually incorporated themselves into the game by taking their Buddy McNutty, which is kind of their mascot, and just having fun with the kids, as well as posting advertisements inside of the stadium that stayed there all season long. And also in Atlanta, they had a food and wine festival. Who doesn't love those? So of course they incorporated all of their peanut-inspired twists in there. And because of this campaign throughout the month of February and throughout the month of March, they reached over 70 million consumers. And so this is kind of another peanut for your thoughts. As a peanut consumer yourself, y'all are getting it now, huh? As a peanut consumer, would you attend an event if, say, the National Peanut Board brought this to LSU?
Yeah. Obviously, Crystal wouldn't because she's allergic. But
oh, so you're gonna stay far away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Carolina.
Yes, I would. Do you want me to say why or do it?
Yeah. Sure. Like if an outbreak just occurred and you know this outbreak occurred, would you actually attend an event like this? Would you think it was more of a gimmick? Would you think, oh, I know what they're trying to do to me, or would you actually be interested in attending?
No, I really would because I eat peanut butter almost every single day. I love it in the sorority house, and we literally go through like 5 huge things of peanut butter a day. So I'd be like genuinely concerned about it. So I think I would want to attend it.
Yeah, like before we started studying this case, I had no idea that peanuts were even good for you. Like I thought that it was just I thought that they were like one of the worst nuts, like a fatty nut, and it wasn't like as good as eating like almonds or pistachios or whatever. But now, like after learning all about this, I realized like really how good they are for you, and not just.
Well, and I think Sierra's comment or question was good there, right? So this all just happened with this outbreak. Did the company actually have good intentions for doing this promotional tour? And that's always the ultimate question, right? And yeah, absolutely what Elise said. Nuts in general are very good for you. Peanuts aren't quite as good as almonds or walnuts, but they are still very good for you. No cholesterol.
I thought they were just like a good fat. I didn't realize I had antioxidants in them.
Okay, the evaluation of this whole campaign, obviously the National Peanut Board was very successful. The National Peanut Board successfully reached 50,000 consumers through their social media outreach through the Grand Central Terminal exhibit. Peanut butter's sales increased each month in 2009. The National Peanut Board was specifically successful because of their Grand Central Terminal exhibit, and they successfully reached over 200 million consumers through print, broadcast, and online media coverage. The National Peanut Board Consumer Study confirmed that in 2010, the percentage of people who resumed eating peanut butter increased from 43 to 70%, which is a huge jump. The National Peanut Board also won the PRSA, Public Relations, obviously, y'all should know this, the Public Relations Society of America's Silver Anvil Award for restoring trust in USA-grown peanuts and peanut products. Something that I thought was also that was really great was PR Week made a comment, and it said it was wise to put health and food experts forward and to expand the conversation to include health benefits, samples, and recipes. These efforts did more than just restore confidence. They moved the needle. So as you can tell, this was very different than any of the other cases that we've studied because, some of them were, oh, let's promote Volkswagen or let's promote the honeybees. This was actually something that happened and people actually died because of this. I mean, it was definitely a crisis that sickened